A couple of weeks have gone by since this season ended, so I figured why not make a review of this season and look back and see how great it was. You're probably wondering where the hell is my chapter 5 review video, and well, it's a work in progress. I want to cook nicely with that video, so expect me to try a lot of new things in that video. I'm gonna separate this video into Battlepass, map, Lootpool, updates, story, and events, and no, I will not elaborate on any other modes, so without further ado, let's get started. I've been cooked with this season's Battlepass. Before the Key Argon leak, I was a bit skeptical because if I'm being real, I'm not a huge fan of Japanese mythology, but this Battlepass might be the exception. All the skins were clean. We even had Godzilla as the secret skin. I mean, I didn't expect Godzilla to be in Fortnite, but if the big chicken made it, so can Godzilla. Baymax was a skin I expected to come to Fortnite because Baymax is a Disney character, but damn, they managed to even give us a Japanese version of Baymax. The Nitros was a clean skin. This definitely felt like a tier 100 to me. The Eagle looked really cool, and I loved this gimmick he had with the masks and shadows, and it looked really nice and fitting for his character. All the other skins were alright. I find it funny that Kendo looks like Kado, and even the names are too similar. And I love how pretty much every skin in this Battle Pass contributed to the lore in some way, shape, or form. And no, I'm not counting collabs, by the way, so yeah. We cooked with the super styles, and finally, after so long, we finally got a red super style. You guys got no clue how happy this makes me, how giddy it makes me to see a red super style after so long. Here's a fun fact: the last time there was a red super style was, wait for it, Chapter 3 Season 1. The map is extremely diverse in comparison to Chapter 5 and much larger too. Oninoshima had that realistic vibe from Chapter 5 mixed in with the Chapter 4 graphics, and it looked gorgeous. The different biomes were a nice refreshing addition, but my favorite biomes has to be the red and purple biomes. Red and purple are my favorite colors, and to see them as biomes, you have no idea how happy I was. Seaport City gave me Mega City vibes in a good way. Shogun Solitude was perfect. It felt like a battleground. I loved how Night Shift Forest and Foxy Floodgate basically reminded me about FNAF. Epic, please add Five Nights at Freddy's into Fortnite. Demon's Dojo gave me quite the scare when I first dropped, mostly because firstly I had no idea how to deal with the shadows, and secondly this big floating head was annoying to deal with. My to-go drop spot was definitely Canyon Crossing. I loved how it basically had a more modern theme on one side and an ancient theme on the other. Halfway through the season, we got Kappa Kappa Factory. And if I'm being honest with you, I did not expect a mid-season map change, so that's always a nice touch. The Lootpool was actually pretty good this season. We got two Oni masks, the Fire Oni and the Void Oni. These masks were very fun to use and they would go nicely with any loadout. My favorite one has to be the Void Oni mask. The Fire Oni mask would basically lock onto someone, which was pretty overpowered, especially in zero builds, since the person that the mask locked onto could not build for cover, unless of course they had put up bunkers. The Void Oni mask was basically Fortnite's version of the Ender Pearl, except it has 15 charges and a mythic variant with 50 charges. The Typhoon Bait was great for mobility and destruction, and quite frankly, it was very fun to use. Now, I understand that many people had a problem with it because the Typhoon Bait was one of those items in which if you had it in your hands, great. If not, then bad news for you. I'll admit, it was annoying to go against someone with the Typhoon Blade if you didn't have it, but that was fixed for me when they involved the Kinetic Blade, because with the Kinetic Blade I could not bash someone or I could dash away from someone. Boons were a new mechanic that worked similar to augments, but in a way that felt unique. Each boon felt useful. The Fire Boon would reload weapons faster, the Water Boon would heal you up to 100 HP and 75 shield if you're in the water, the Wind Boon would make you run faster with your pickaxe out, but my favorite boon has to be the Void Boon. It worked similarly to that of the Shakedown, but instead of actually shaking them down, all you really gotta do is knock them out, and it marks all enemies, which is useful especially in locations such as Seaport City. You can get the water and the air boon by giving a sprite to the shrine, while giving the water and the air sprite to the shrines, and these sprites looked so adorable. I wish they were real, I could pet them. But tell me something, if the water and the air sprites look like this, why does the earth sprite look like this? Like, they should have also made the earth sprite adorable. The medallions were alright this season. We had 3 of them, the Night Roses, Godzillas, and Shogun X's. The Night Roses medallion would reload your ammo over time, which is alright, I guess. Shogun's medallion basically worked like Mysterio's medallion, but it was on steroids. Shogun's medallion would give you infinite stamina and you go invisible while sprinting, which was good, especially combined with the Typhoon Blade. The mythics were great this season, and we had a lot of them, but most of them came from Shogun X, which is basically one of the most hardest bosses to date. The train was buffed because now you actually have a purpose to land on the train, that is to get the enhanced Hollow Twister AR, which is one of my favorite mythics, top 10 for sure. The Fury AR felt like an AR SMG hybrid, which was nice. The Surge Fire felt unique because by every shot the fire rate would increase. The Veiled Precision SMG was alright. I wish they could increase the mag size of this beast. The twin fire auto shotgun, or as I like to call it, the ball shotgun, was pretty mid, I'm not gonna lie. I really did not like using this thing, especially since it had such a dreadful reload time. So if you're caught reloading this thing, especially in ZB, you're cooked, man, you're cooked. The OD shotgun was alright, not a big fan, but at least it was better than the ball shotgun. It has good range for a shotgun, but my favorite shotgun has to be the Sentinel pump. It's like a pump, but it shoots faster. And the mythic one-shot headshots. Even though there weren't a lot of updates this season, I'll just go over the ones that I think really matter. Firstly was the Winterfest update, and we got the return of Crackshot Cabin, which was just a nice breath of fresh air because the last time we got the cabin was in 2022. One of the free skins being Santa Dog was not what I expected, but hey, a free skin is a free skin, right? I wasn't there for the defrosting event, but I like the fact that whenever we danced with Carrie, we would get a free present, and that was nice. Winter Investigation was a nice addition of Quest, and it was interesting seeing our character, like our avatar, talk for the first time. The majority of the map being covered in snow was really nice considering the fact that the snow went really well with some biomes. The second update and the last update that I think matters is the Godzilla Miku update, or as I like to call it, the Mikuzilla update. Hatsune Miku coming into Fortnite was something that I did not expect. Becoming Godzilla was so much fun, and I liked how they handled it. All you gotta do is find a portal, go through it, and you become Godzilla. I loved the scorching beam and destroying buildings with the beam. And Godzilla's medallion worked the same way as Cerberus's medallion. The only thing I wished is that this was its own separate game mode, because the portal was not guaranteed to spawn. Also, I know I said I would not elaborate on any other modes, but I liked how instruments used in festivals could be used as pickaxes and backblades. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I wish they did something with Baymax, because while Godzilla got all the treatment, Baymax was there just for the sake of being there. If they replaced Baymax with Shogun X, I don't think anybody would even bat an eye. The storyline was good, and it all started when the Comet crashed onto Oninoshima and awoke the demons. We helped Kendo, Jade, and Hope learn more about the magic. Then, when Jade is trapped in the spirit realm, we confront Dago and he tells us that Jade was cursed, so he tried to help but made things worse. Then we turn our attention to the meteor which crashed. We explore the meteor's crater only to find the meteor missing. Then we search for the splinters and make these blades. We then give him to Nitros, temporarily freeing her from her curse. We then examine the crater again and damage Shogun X, and Hope concludes that the meteor is a shot of the 0 point. Guys, act surprised, please. In the event, Dago tries to free Jade, but then she is sucked in and Shogun comes out instead, grabs Dago by the hand and slams him on the floor. Dago, my goat, locks in and becomes gigantic and defeats Shogun X, all while taking a lot of damage from him. He then disappears. The only problem that I have with the story is that we already knew what happened before they actually took place, well, except for the event. For example, in the game files, the Comet is codenamed the ZP Shard, and this was known before the actual season released. Another example is the Comet being missing. When the season first launched, the Comet was not on the map, and in part 3 of the story quests, Hope and Kendall learned that the demons had already taken it. We already knew this from day 1 because the Comet was not on the map. The mini event was great, the music, the ending, everything. I loved how these two became giants and fought. Dago, being the aura farmer that he is, took a slash to the chest and managed to win even when all hope seemed lost. I love how this mini event isn't even considered a mini event by the majority of the community, but rather a full-blown live event. This event deserves the title of live event in my opinion. It reminded me of the final showdown all the way back in season 9. Overall, this season has got to be one of my favorite seasons. The Battle Pass was peak, the map was diverse and refreshing, the updates were fun, the story was good, the events were great, everything was great. I just wish that they did something with Baymax, and I also wish that they did not reveal that the Comet was a 0 point shot way too early. I hope in the future Fortnite does something special with the collabs in the Battle Pass, kinda like how they're doing with Sub-Zero by giving him his combat kit. Hopefully in the future they don't reveal anything to us too early in terms of storyline.